Gentlemen, let me ask you something. When was the last time you woke up with that full, firm morning confidence you used to take for granted? You know what I mean? The kind of erection that made you feel strong, alive, desirable. If you're over 60 and those mornings are starting to feel like a distant memory, I want you to pay very close attention. Because while most people will tell you that weaker erections are just a part of aging, that's only half the story. I'm Dr. Henry Carter, a board-certified urologist, and I've spent more than 30 years helping men, just like you, men who still have desire, still have passion, still want to perform, but are being quietly sabotaged by something they never saw coming. I'm not talking about stress. I'm not talking about aging. I'm talking about food. Yes, food. Every single day, you're probably eating things that are silently weakening your erections, not because you're reckless, but because these foods are everywhere. In our grocery stores and our pantries, even in the so-called healthy aisle, some of these foods cause inflammation in your blood vessels, making it harder for blood to flow where it needs to. Others tank your testosterone, the very hormone that fuels male performance. And a few of them, they do both. Double trouble. And the worst part is no one's warning you. You'll never see a label that says, "Caution, this snack may destroy your manhood." But I've seen it firsthand in thousands of patients. Men who went from strong and active to frustrated, embarrassed, even ashamed. All because of what was on their plate. But here's the good news: once you know what to avoid and what to replace it with, everything can change. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s bounce back with stronger, longer-lasting erections just by making small changes to their diet. No pills, no surgery, just smart choices. So today I'm going to reveal the 7 foods that are quietly wrecking your erections, and chances are one of them is sitting in your kitchen right now. Stick with me until the end, because I'll not only show you what to avoid, I'll also give you the foods that support better circulation, stronger libido, and more powerful erections naturally. All right, let's get into it. The first erection killer on our list is one you probably had this week, and it's worse than you think. The science of erections after 60. Before we dive into the foods that are sabotaging your performance, let's take a moment to understand how erections actually work, especially for men over 60. You see, an erection is more than just a reaction. It's a complex symphony between your brain, your nerves, your blood vessels, and your hormones. And like any symphony, if one instrument is off, the whole performance suffers. At the heart of it all is blood flow. When you're aroused, your brain sends a signal down your spine, telling your body to relax the muscles in your pelvic region. That relaxation allows blood to rush into the sponge-like tissue of your penis, and just like filling a balloon, that rush of blood creates firmness and fullness. But here's the kicker: as we age, our blood vessels stiffen. They become less elastic, our circulation slows. And if you're eating a diet that clogs or inflames those vessels, it becomes even harder for blood to flow freely. The result: you might feel desire, but your body simply doesn't respond. And then there's testosterone, the king of male hormones. After the age of 30, your testosterone naturally begins to decline about 1% per year. But poor diet can accelerate that drop like a landslide. Low testosterone means lower libido, weaker erections, less stamina, and more belly fat. And what's even worse, some of the foods marketed as healthy are secretly flooding your body with estrogen-like compounds, pushing your testosterone even lower. Add in nerve sensitivity, which diminishes with age, and what you've got is a perfect storm: less blood flow, lower testosterone, duller sensation, all stacking the odds against your performance. But again, this isn't irreversible. In fact, your diet is one of the biggest levers you can pull to tip things back in your favor. The right foods can help open up your arteries, boost your testosterone, and revitalize nerve health. But the wrong ones, they act like poison, slowly choking off your ability to perform without you even noticing. So now that you understand the battlefield, let's talk strategy. Coming up next. The first food on our list might seem like an innocent part of your lunch, but inside your body, it's doing real damage to your manhood. Food number 1, processed meats. Let's start with one of the biggest offenders. Processed meats, things like bacon sausages, ham, hot dogs, pepperoni, salami, and yes, even deli turkey or roast beef. Now I know what you're thinking. Doc, I've been eating ham sandwiches since the 70s. What's the big deal? Well, the problem isn't just the meat itself, it's what's inside that meat. Most processed meats are packed with nitrates, sodium, and preservatives. These are chemicals used to preserve the meat and give it that smoky flavor. But inside your body, they wreak havoc. First, they cause inflammation in your blood vessels. Remember what we talked about earlier. Erections depend on healthy, elastic blood vessels that can expand and allow blood to rush in. When those vessels are inflamed, it's like trying to force water through a clogged pipe. Not only does it reduce blood flow, it also increases your risk for high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease, two conditions that are directly linked to erectile dysfunction. And it doesn't stop there. Processed meats are also high in saturated fat, which raises your LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, and contributes to the buildup of plaque in your arteries. That plaque narrows the vessels, chokes blood flow, and makes it nearly impossible for your penis to get the circulation it needs. And here's the kicker. Some studies show that high consumption of processed meats can reduce testosterone levels too, especially when they come from animals fed hormones and antibiotics. Now think about it, low testosterone, clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and chronic inflammation. That's like the Mount Rushmore of erection killers all packed into a sandwich. Even worse, these meats are often considered convenient, so men eat them daily without a second thought. A quick ham and cheese sandwich, some salami slices, or a couple of breakfast sausages, and just like that, your blood vessels are under siege. But here's a simple fix: swap out processed meats for lean, whole cuts of meat, like grilled chicken, grass-fed steak, or wild-caught fish. These options support your heart, your hormones, and your hardness. Coming up next, the oil you're cooking with might seem harmless, but it could be flooding your body with estrogen-like compounds that destroy testosterone from the inside out. Let's talk vegetable oils. Food number 2, vegetable oils: canola, soybean corn. Now let's talk about something even sneakier than processed meats. Something that doesn't just show up on your plate, but in nearly everything you eat of vegetable oils. I'm talking about canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, and sunflower oil. These oils are everywhere in salad dressings, fried foods, mayonnaise, margarine, frozen meals, and even health snacks. They sound harmless, right? I mean, vegetable oil sounds like something your heart doctor would approve of. But here's the truth. Most of these oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, and when your body is flooded with too many omega-6s, it creates chronic inflammation, the kind that damages your blood vessels, tanks, your testosterone, and directly weakens your erection strength. Now, don't get me wrong, you do need some omega-6s, but the balance is what matters. Ideally, your ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 should be around 4:1. But with the modern Western diet, that ratio can be 21 or even 31, meaning your body is drowning in inflammation. That inflammation affects more than just your joints or your gut. It affects the endothelium, the thin lining of your blood vessels. And when the endothelium becomes damaged, it's much harder for your vessels to dilate and allow blood to flow into the penis. It's like trying to fill up a balloon with a straw that's half clogged, the pressure builds, but nothing happens. But that's not all. Some of these oils, especially soybean oil, have been shown in animal studies to disrupt hormone balance, lowering testosterone, and even altering gene expression in the brain. Let that sink in. The oil in your stir-fry could be telling your body to make less testosterone. And when testosterone drops, everything changes: energy, mood, muscle mass, libido, and of course, erections. The worst part, these oils are hidden. Food manufacturers love them because they're cheap and shelf-stable. So even if you're trying to eat clean, chances are you're still consuming them unless you're carefully reading every label. So what's the solution? Ditch the vegetable oils and switch to healthy natural fats like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or cold-pressed coconut oil. These oils reduce inflammation, support hormone health, and improve heart function, all critical for a strong, lasting erection. Coming up next, this one's going to sting a little, because the next erection killer is something millions of men sip on daily with ice, a straw, and a smile. Let's talk sugary drinks. Food number 3, sugary drinks, soda, sweet tea, energy drinks. All right, brace yourself, because the next erection killer is one of the most common beverages in the Western world. and probably one of the most dangerous to your manhood. Sugary drinks. That includes soda sweet tea, sports drinks, flavored coffee drinks, and yes, even those so-called healthy fruit juices packed with added sugars. Now I know it feels good. That fizzy, cold, sweet sip can be addictive. But what it's doing inside your body, that's the part no one talks about. Let me break it down for you. When you drink a sugary beverage, your blood sugar spikes and your body scrambles to produce insulin to bring it back down. That's normal. But when you're drinking these things day after day, year after year, your body starts to become insulin resistant. And insulin resistance is one of the fastest ways to lower testosterone, increase belly fat, and set the stage for erectile dysfunction. Why? Because it affects your metabolism, your hormones, and your blood vessels, the trifecta of erection health. Let's look at testosterone first. High blood sugar levels suppress the production of testosterone by interfering with the signals sent from your brain to your testes. On top of that, sugary drinks often contain high fructose corn syrup, which ramps up the conversion of testosterone into estrogen, the last thing any man over 60 needs more of. Now let's talk about inflammation and blood flow. Sugar inflames the lining of your blood vessels, damages the endothelial cells, and makes it harder for nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for opening up blood vessels, to do its job. No nitric oxide, no dilation. No dilation, no blood flow. And no blood flow. You already know the answer to that. And don't be fooled by the sugar-free versions either. Many diet sodas and energy drinks are loaded with artificial sweeteners, which, as we'll cover later, come with their own set of problems. In some studies, they've been shown to disrupt the gut microbiome, increase insulin resistance, and ironically, still cause weight gain and testosterone disruption. So what's a better choice? You don't have to sip plain water all day, though water's fantastic. Try unsweetened herbal teas, lemon water, or even adding a splash of real fruit juice to soda water. The goal is to hydrate your body without hijacking your hormones or destroying your circulation. Because at the end of the day, a 20-ounce bottle of soda may seem harmless, but if it's costing you your drive, your confidence, and your ability to perform, is it really worth it? Coming up next, it's not just what you drink, it's also what you eat between those drinks. And this next food has become a staple of the modern diet, but it's quietly destroying your vascular health from the inside out. Let's talk about white bread and refined carbs. Food number 4, white bread and refined carbs. Now let's turn our attention to another unsuspecting culprit hiding in your pantry and on your plate every day. White bread and refined carbohydrates. White bread, pasta, pastries, crackers. These are staples of the modern diet and they fuel your body, but not in the way you want when it comes to erection health. Here's the issue: refined carbs are stripped of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, leaving behind pure, rapidly digestible starch. When you eat them, your blood sugar skyrockets, and just like with sugary drinks, your pancreas has to flood your bloodstream with insulin to restore balance. Over time, this constant blood sugar roller coaster leads to insulin resistance, weight gain around the midsection, and chronic inflammation, all of which work against your ability to maintain firm, lasting erections. But it gets worse. High insulin also suppresses testosterone production. Your brain senses elevated insulin levels and effectively turns down the dial on hormone signals to your testes. The result: less testosterone, lower libido, and an increased chance of erectile dysfunction. Then there's the impact on your blood vessels. Every insulin spike triggers an inflammatory response in your arteries, causing tiny micro tears in the endothelium, the very lining that needs to remain supple for optimal blood flow into the penis. Think of it like potholes forming on a highway. The more potholes, the slower the traffic. Men over 60 are especially vulnerable because natural hormone decline and aging vessels compound these effects. What might have been a harmless sandwich in your 40s can now sabotage your performance. So what's the alternative? Whole grains, legumes, and vegetables, foods that release glucose, slowly keep your insulin stable, and feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut. But more on that in a moment. By cutting out white bread and refined carbs, you're not just protecting blood sugar, you're preserving your testosterone, safeguarding your vessels, and giving yourself a real chance at stronger, more reliable erections. Coming up next, we'll dive into one of the most common social foods, alcohol, especially beer, and uncover why your favorite nightcap could be the biggest party pooper for your erections. Food number 5, alcohol, especially beer. Now let's talk about one of the most socially accepted and often celebrated libations, alcohol. Whether it's a glass of wine with dinner or a cold beer after golf, drinking can feel relaxing and fun. But when it comes to erections, alcohol is a double-edged sword. First, alcohol acts as a central nervous system depressant. At moderate levels, you might feel more relaxed and a bit more confident. But to achieve and maintain a firm erection, you need a finely tuned balance of neurological signaling. Alcohol dampens those signals, making it harder for your brain and body to communicate the go signal that starts the blood flow. Next, let's consider testosterone levels. Acute drinking can cause a short-term spike in testosterone, but chronic alcohol consumption, especially heavy or daily drinking, leads to reduced testosterone production. Your liver, taxed by constant alcohol processing, becomes less efficient at metabolizing estrogen. That means higher estrogen levels relative to testosterone, tipping the hormonal scales away from male performance. Beer is particularly problematic. Beyond the alcohol content, many beers are made from grains that can act like phytoestrogens, plant-based compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. A few beers can translate into a noticeable estrogenic effect, further suppressing your testosterone and sapping your desire. Then there's circulation. Alcohol initially causes blood vessels to dilate, hence the warm, flushed feeling you often get. But over time, it damages the endothelial cells that line those vessels, leading to stiffness and reduced nitric oxide production. Since nitric oxide is critical for opening the arteries in your penis, this damage directly undermines your erection quality. And don't overlook the indirect effects. Regular drinking often leads to dehydration, poor sleep, and nutrient deficiencies, all of which further compromise your hormonal balance and vascular health. The late-night snack after one too many drinks, the skipped workout the next morning, the hangover-fueled stress hormones. It all compounds the problem. For men over 60, these factors add up faster. Hormones are already on the decline, and blood vessels are more fragile. What might have been a harmless beer at 30 can become an erection killer at 60. In our next section, we'll explore another surprising category of foods, soy-based products, and how they can quietly mimic estrogen in your body, further complicating your performance. Stay with me, you won't believe how many everyday foods are working against you. Food number 6, soy-based products. Next up on our list is something you might consider healthy, yet it's a hidden erection assassin: soy-based products. Soy milk tofu, soy burgers, soy protein powders, and even many meat alternative products rely on soy. And while they're often marketed for heart health, they carry a hormone-altering punch. Here's how it works. Soy contains phytoestrogens, plant compounds structurally similar to the estrogen in your body. When you consume large amounts of these phytoestrogens, they can bind to your hormone receptors and mimic estrogenic activity, effectively diluting your natural testosterone. Imagine your hormonal system as a finely tuned orchestra. Testosterone is the conductor keeping everything in harmony. Phytoestrogens are like rogue musicians stepping in and throwing off the timing. The result: lower testosterone levels, reduced libido, and weaker erections. Several studies have shown that men who consume a high soy diet experience measurable drops in testosterone and changes in sperm count. While occasional soy is unlikely to cause major issues, many health foods now pack multiple servings of soy into a single meal. Soy protein shakes, vegan burgers, and processed meat analogs can deliver far more phytoestrogens than a single block of tofu. And it's not just about estrogen mimicry. Soy-based products often undergo heavy processing, complete with additives, gums, and refined starches that drive inflammation and disrupt digestion. A healthy gut is crucial for hormone balance because your microbiome helps regulate how your body processes and eliminates hormones. Disrupt the gut and you disrupt your hormone signals. As men age, their bodies become more sensitive to hormonal imbalances. Low testosterone accelerates muscle loss, worsens mood, hampers energy, and chokes off erectile strength. So while the promise of plant-based protein might sound appealing, the hidden estrogenic effect of soy can be a serious underlying factor in erectile dysfunction. The good news: you don't need to avoid all plants, just be mindful of soy's potency. And there are other protein-packed, hormone-friendly options that support your vascular health, bolster testosterone, and keep inflammation in check. Coming up, the final culprit on our list may surprise you because it's marketed as a sugar substitute for health-conscious people. But in reality, it carries its own set of risks when it comes to your manhood. Let's dive into artificial sweeteners. Food number 7, artificial sweeteners. Now let's tackle a sneaky culprit hiding in diet sodas, sugar-free gum, and countless zero-calorie products, artificial sweeteners. On the surface, these chemicals promise sweetness. Without the calories seems like a win for weight management. But here's the problem, your body doesn't see them as harmless. When you swallow that packet of sucralose or sip that aspartame-sweetened drink, your metabolism and even your hormones go into confusion. First, artificial sweeteners disrupt your gut microbiome, the community of bacteria that governs everything from digestion to hormone regulation. Studies have shown that these compounds can kill off beneficial bacteria and promote the growth of strains linked to inflammation and insulin resistance. And as we've already discussed, insulin resistance is a direct enemy of both testosterone production and healthy blood flow. Second, your brain gets tricked. It registers sweetness, yet receives no real sugar, leading your body to crave more carbohydrates. That craving spurs binge-eating, weight gain, and further blood sugar spikes, all of which compound the damage to your erections. Third, some research indicates that artificial sweeteners may interfere with nitric oxide, signaling the very molecule responsible for dilating your penile arteries. Less nitric oxide means tighter vessels, reduced blood flow, and softer erections. And let's not forget the hormonal hit by fueling gut inflammation and metabolic dysfunction. These sweeteners can further suppress the luteinizing hormone signals that tell your testes to produce testosterone. Over time, you wind up with lower T, higher body fat, and a shrinking libido. In short, those guilt-free sweets come at a steep price: your performance, your drive, and your vascular health. Whenever you're tempted by sugar substitutes, remember your body pays the real cost. And for men over 60, aiming to maintain strong, reliable erections, that cost is simply too high. Conclusion. So there you have it, the 7 silent saboteurs undermining your erections. Processed meats, vegetable oils, sugary drinks, refined carbs, alcohol, especially beer, soy-based products, and artificial sweeteners. Each one chips away at your blood flow, your hormone balance, or both, making it harder and harder to achieve the firmness you deserve. But here's the truth I want you to walk away with. None of this is permanent. Your body is resilient, especially when given the right fuel. By ditching these 7 offenders, you give your vascular system a chance to heal, allow hormone levels to rebalance, and restore the nerve sensitivity that drives arousal. Imagine waking up again with the confidence of a full spontaneous erection. No pills, no gimmicks, just the natural power of good nutrition. Picture reconnecting with your partner without hesitation or embarrassment, bringing back the intimacy that too many men assume is lost for good. Now start thinking about the foods that do the opposite, those that support healthy blood vessels, boost testosterone, and keep inflammation at bay. Whole grains, vibrant vegetables, fresh fruits, lean proteins, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats from olive oil, avocados, and fatty fish. These are the building blocks of a body primed for strong, lasting erections at any age. Gentlemen, you've spent decades building your life, your career, your family, your passions. Don't let a few everyday foods steal your confidence and your joy. It's not too late to take back control. All it takes is awareness, a little planning, and the willingness to swap sabotage for strength. Thank you for trusting me with your health. If you found this information valuable, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss the upcoming videos where I'll dive deeper into specific meal plans, supplements that complement a healthy diet, and simple lifestyle tweaks that further enhance your performance. Remember, real power starts on your plate. Feed yourself well, and your erections will follow.